Coming up on News 11, wildfires are raging across the East Coast. A viral quest for dumplings is taking China by storm, and the nominations for this year's Grammys have just been announced. All this and more, News 11 starts right now.
Just take the back. Good evening and welcome back to News 11. I'm Kellyanne Hender.
And I'm Matt Volz.
We have a lot of exciting stories to cover, so let's get started with your local news. A Fredonia native who went missing while traveling in Hungary has been found dead after Budapest police released new details. 31-year-old Mackenzie Michalewski was reported missing by her friends and family to the U.S. Embassy last Tuesday after not checking out of an Airbnb. The investigation, led by Budapest police, found that Mackenzie was last seen at a nightclub with a 37-year-old Irish man with the initials LTM. The details found in the investigation were gruesome. LTM confessed to the police, which ultimately led to them finding her body in a suitcase in the Lake Balaton woods in the area outside of Sea Gap. Mackenzie's family and friends released a statement, quote, "We would like to express our profound and heartfelt gratitude to the U.S. and Hungarian authorities and local police for their prompt attention, diligence, care, and consideration. We are thankful that Kenzie's soul is now at peace," end quote. On Saturday, a candlelight vigil was held to honor and remember Mackenzie. A GoFundMe was established to support the Michalewski family, which you can find online to help support them in this difficult time.
Fredonia recently hosted its annual Veterans Ceremony. Mariana Cruz went over to take a look.
Last Friday, SUNY Fredonia hosted its annual Veterans Remembrance Ceremony in the Williams Center. Many student veterans, retired veterans, and family members came to attend. The main event of this ceremony was to reward Fredonia students with the Fredonia Veterans Scholarship.
I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to each of you for being here today.
The Fredonia Veterans Scholarship, along with the Courage and Honor Scholarship and the Ronald L. and Marilyn M. Dennison Scholarship, are only offered to Fredonia students that are currently serving in any military branch. This ceremony is open to the community to honor and show gratitude to the local men and women who have served the country.
If you take a look around, there's actually more community members here than students. And that's a beautiful thing, because part of the mission and goals, if you will, of Fredonia is to certainly extend to the local community.
This year, instead of awarding just one student, the committee awarded 6 students with the Fredonia Veterans Scholarship.
Being a veteran every year and seeing the students they've enrolled with us, and whether they're dependents or active reservists or veterans, I mean that's the greatest compliment to be able to do that, talk to them and see them and be able to use the scholarship to good cause.
The Veterans Remembrance Ceremony reminds us how important it is to remember the people who did their service for our country. Reporting from Fredonia, Mariana Cruz, News 11.
For more information on SUNY Fredonia's veterans events, visit www.fredonia.edu.
In December, the Chamber of Commerce will hold its annual meeting featuring the grand reopening of the historic White Inn in Fredonia. The renovation project, which began in September 2022, has completely transformed the building's exterior, giving the White Inn a fresh, updated look. Steve St. George and Devin Jones, the new owners, purchased the long-closed hotel and plan to reopen it before winter. Earlier this month, a job fair was held to recruit staff for various hotel positions, including housekeeping, front desk, and kitchen staff. The renovation has taken nearly 2 years, with many local contractors and suppliers contributing to the project. Dan Culligan, a well-known Fredonia contractor, is leading the team. Just last week, workers were seen resodding the front lawn and making final touches to the parking lot. As part of the renovation, the old guest rooms are completely overhauled with new, modern amenities.
Kissing Bridge Ski Resort, now under new leadership, is gearing up for the approaching winter season with new upgrades and projects underway after several seasons of poor skiing conditions. The future of the resort was uncertain. That was until Rhett McNulty, the new owner of Kissing Bridge, stepped in. Ever since taking over, Red has invested in snowmaking equipment and upgrades to facilities that will help ensure both skiers and snowboarders have quality snow and facilities. Another goal is to turn the resort into a Four Seasons destination. This past summer was the first time the resort offered mountain biking, and McNulty plans to offer tubing again in the next few years. From employees to people in the community to Maple the puppy, the resort's new mascot, everyone is looking forward to the upcoming season at Kissing Bridge Ski Resort.
The Applied Communication Association just hosted its annual Fall Sweep event, marking its 20th year. Gwyneth Kirkwood joined in on the fun.
Coming back for its 20th year, the Fredonia's Applied Communication Association is out lending a hand to the community, rain or shine. This Sunday, 300 volunteers grabbed brakes and headed into town.
I'm sitting here on Temple Street where student volunteers are helping the community one sweep at a time.
Ashley Kipferl, the president of ACA, shared what Fall Sweep is about and how it impacts the community. This year marks Ashley's first time organizing and leading the event.
Last week, we hung up house flyers to tell residents that we were going to be doing Fall Sweep this weekend. And I received so many emails from community members saying, like, we are so excited and grateful that your volunteers are coming out again. So they know of the campus tradition, and a lot of community members are just so grateful.
This event is not only centered on giving back to the neighborhood, but also an opportunity for students to engage in team building with their clubs and groups.
I think it's good because it puts a good light on the college kids.
It is. It's very nice. It's nice to see the kids. We see them all the time anyways, and we talk to them because we know a lot of the neighbors from up and down the road. But it's nice that they're out meeting the rest of the neighbors.
If you missed out on this year's Fall Sweep, ACA plans to continue the tradition in the years ahead. This is Gwyneth Kirkwood, News 11.
For more information on Fall Sweep, visit events.fredonia.edu.
This past Wednesday, dozens gathered outside of Buffalo's City Hall to protest the inhabitable living conditions of animals at the city shelter. The Buffalo City Animal Shelter was exposed last month by an anonymous source where they showed videos of dogs walking in their own feces and volunteers saying that the cats are often stressed and there isn't enough room to handle all the animals. Many Buffalo residents rallied against these poor conditions, especially those who they got at the shelter. The city of Buffalo is now days away from finalizing a lease for a new shelter for these animals, and the new shelter lease should be announced soon.
The Ice at Canalside Buffalo has announced its opening date for the 2024-2025 winter season. Next Friday, November 22nd, starts opening weekend. Regular operations at the rink will begin the following Friday, November 29th. Activities that will be available this year are a train, bumper cars, and a snow sculpture. There will also be special events each weekend, including theme nights and fireworks. Admission prices vary by age, and skate rentals are $5.
The Buffalo Presidential Center on Saturday unveiled the Cleveland Corner, an exhibit that highlights President Grover Cleveland and his wife, Frances, with artifacts donated by their family members. The display contains hats and boxes which were owned by President Cleveland and his wife, Frances Folsom. Before Grover Cleveland served in the White House, he spent terms as both mayor of Buffalo and an Erie County sheriff. Cleveland's grandson expressed how important it was for the items to return to Buffalo, saying, quote, "I said we should give this to the Buffalo Presidential Center because there is direct meaning to the people in Buffalo. There are so many Cleveland family ties in Buffalo," end quote. The Presidential Center, located on the second floor of the Buffalo Library, will hold the exhibit. And when we return, we will have your national stories. We'll be right back.
To Sofia and Gabriel, Miss Flores, my little flowers. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love, so you can take me with you wherever you go, near or far. These stitches and threads join us together. Me, your mother, and both of you. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
All across America, wildfires have spread from coast to coast over the recent months. Experts estimate that there are 732 active wildfires in the U.S. at this moment, a majority of which are near the coast. While some are small and only spanning a few acres, a surprising amount of them cover thousands of acres of land. One of the more significant wildfires, nicknamed the shotgun fire due to it being caused by a shotgun igniting magnesium, has caused nearly half the state of New Jersey to be at risk, and the West Coast is not doing much better. The mountain fire in Southern California has destroyed more than 130 homes and severely injured 6 people. California Governor Gavin Newsom has declared as state of emergency, stating, quote, "This is a dangerous fire that is spreading quickly and is threatening lives," end quote. While many are human-caused, the Californian fires are thought to be caused by lightning, according to authorities. In total, nearly 8.1 million acres of land have been burned this season, which is significantly more than the annual average.
On Sunday, a Disney cruise rescued 4 stranded boaters off the coast of Bermuda. The Coast Guard states that a distress call was made at 8:30 a.m. by the 50-foot catamaran. The boat was experiencing gasket failure in the escape hatch and was beginning to take in water. Officials put out a distress call for help, and the nearest vessel was the Disney Treasure, which was around 80 miles away. The Disney Treasure ship responded to the call and sent out one of its smaller boats to pick up the passengers and take them aboard. Officials said that all of the people on the sinking catamaran were rescued between the times of 1 p.m. and 1:45 p.m. with no medical concerns of any kind.
Toy manufacturer Mattel has released an apology after a significant printing mistake on their newly launched Wicked dolls. The link on the package was meant to take customers to the official website of the Wicked movie, but instead took them to an adult content website. The majority of these dolls were sold in the U.S. Mattel stated they, quote, "deeply regret this unfortunate error," end quote, and advised parents that this misprinted website is not appropriate for children. They advised those who have already purchased the doll to discard the packaging as they work to remedy the situation. The highly anticipated movie adaptation of the award-winning musical Wicked hits theaters Friday, November 22nd.
Residents in a small South Carolina town are finding themselves in a real-life Jumanji after 43 monkeys escaped Wednesday from a research facility. The primates are still on the loose as of Friday night after escaping from the Alpha Genesis Primate Center in Yamasee. As of Friday night, the police department stated that the Alpha Genesis staff and management were on site feeding and monitoring the animals at the perimeter of the facility. In an attempt to recapture the monkeys, the facility is using have-a-heart traps, which are designed in a humane way with a trap door. A couple of the primates have entered the traps, but not enough to activate the doors. Police are advising the public to steer away from the facility and to not fly drones above the area. Residents have been asked to keep doors and windows shut to keep monkeys from entering their homes. Police advise those who encounter the missing monkeys to refrain from interacting them and to call 911.
There's a second branch of Taurid meteor showers showing up soon that is part of the Northern Taurid event. The Northern Taurids have been active since October, but the event will be visible Monday night into Tuesday. According to NASA, the event will be visible starting after midnight. The Northern Taurids can be seen anywhere in the world except Antarctica, said Dr. Shannon Schmall, director of Abrams Planetarium at Michigan State University. For the best viewing experience, Schmall suggests viewers should watch later in the night around when the moon sets and the skies are clear, saying, quote, "Don't move around too much, but get away from the lights, get comfortable, and be patient," end quote. It is sure to be a spectacle as there is potential to see more fireballs over the next few weeks, and the event is supposed to last until December 2nd, so there is plenty of time to see the Northern Taurids.
Across the nation, many TGI Fridays and Red Lobster locations are closing permanently and being replaced. In Woodbridge, Virginia, Longhorn Steakhouse will take over an old TGI Fridays. In Watertown, New York, a former Red Lobster is being converted to a Northern Credit Union bank, and Chick-fil-A is taking over a Red Lobster in Naples, Florida. Vacant restaurant chains are creating prime real estate for a wide range of companies looking for spots to grow, especially fast food chains that want to install drive-through lanes on spots where diners once sat down for dinner. Denny's CEO said, quote, "Family dining has had its worst post-pandemic. Customer traffic to full-service restaurants like Denny's has dropped 0.5% so far this year," end quote. In the past, these restaurants would often be replaced by a different restaurant chain with tables to sit at and servers to bring out the food. But now, fast food and fast casual chains are taking these spaces and building more drive-through lanes. And when we return, I'll be right here again for our sports update, and we'll have Adam for your first look at weather. We'll be right back.
When you think of the local lowdown, what do you think of?
Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music that we have played in the studio.
It's got to be the laughs we shared. The memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's gotta be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
I'm Nigel, I'm a friend of John's.
I come back here and the wall is just floating, like right there.
And now we're back with Matt, who will be giving us our weekly sports update. So, what's going on in sports, Matt?
Thanks, Kellyanne. This past Saturday, the women's volleyball team concluded their season playing against Hilbert. Seniors Aaron Callahan and Amaya Luchik were recognized prior to the game. Fredonia started slow, losing the first set, but ended strong and went on to win the next 3 sets. Kylie O'Brien led the team in kills and aces, while Aaron Callahan led the team in blocks. Olivia Boswell led the team in assists, and Kaylee Sullivan led the team in digs. The Blue Devils concluded their season with a record of 13-16 overall. Fredonia women's basketball also secured a win this past Saturday against Carlow. Fredonia had an early lead, but Carlow quickly caught up, forcing the game into overtime. Fredonia came out victorious with a final score of 76-72. Peyton Gilbert had a great game, recording her second double-double, which earned her the title of Worcester Classic MVP. The team has its own home opener tonight in Dodds Hall. It's been a good week for Fredonia sports. Men's hockey also came out victorious in their game against Potsdam on Saturday. The Blue Devils won 2-1 with a goal and an assist from both Antoine St. Onge and Ryan Bailey. Goalie Jamison Kane made 29 saves in the win, and they play next this Friday in Cortland. Moving on to Buffalo sports, the Bills played the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday and took home a victory by the final score of 30-20. The Bills held the lead for most of the game, with Indianapolis only surpassing them once. Touchdowns were scored by Taron Johnson, Josh Allen, and James Cook. Tyler Bass also was 3 for 3 on his field goal attempts. The Bills led the game in total yards, passing yards, and rushing yards, and they play next this Sunday at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. Unfortunately, the Buffalo Sabres fell to the Montreal Canadiens this past Monday with a final score of 7-5. Buffalo's goals were scored by Tage Thompson, Dylan Cousins, Peyton Krebs, Rasmus Dahlin, and J.J. Peterka. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Devin Levi faced a combined 18 shots. After missing part of Monday's game and practice this morning, Luukkonen and Thompson are currently out with injuries day-to-day, while Mattias Samuelsson is out with a serious lower body injury and is set to miss multiple weeks. The Sabres will play next tomorrow against the St. Louis Blues.
Now, Matt,
You look devastated, Kellyanne.
That is devastating. But it has come to my attention that on Sports Hour last week, you said you were going to the Saturday Sabres game.
I did.
And we're hoping they wouldn't lose.
And they didn't lose. They won. And as a matter of fact, it's the first time I've ever, in all the years that I've been going to Sabres games, it's the first time I've ever seen them win in a shootout.
Oh, they
so
won.
That was
I
kind of
didn't
cool.
watch it.
Yes, they won in a shootout. It should not have gone to a shootout. They were up 2-0. They kind of blew it, but they still got the win in the shootout. But yeah, in all the years that I've been going to Sabres games since I was 3 years old, it's the first time I've ever seen them win in a shootout. Which was kind of cool.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool
cool
that you saw a shootout and in person and then also got to walk out of the arena with a win.
I don't usually do that a whole lot leaving Sabres games, so
Yeah.
it's kind of nice. Bandits games, different story.
I can't relate about walking out on the
That's true.
the
You got a
KeyBank
perfect
Arena.
record going,
I
don't
do
you?
I do have like a 100% record right now.
Something like that. I have witnessed probably twice as many losses as I have wins in that arena, at least for the Sabres. The Bandits, I got a good track record.
I can't imagine what it's like to be
It's a
there.
rarity leaving that arena after a Bandits loss. But for the Sabres, yeah, it's a different.
Well, that's good to hear that you saw one.
Yes, it was fun.
Now we're joined by Adam for our weather forecast. What do you have for us, Adam?
Thanks, guys. Today we saw a pretty chilly fall day. It was mostly sunny, though, with a high of 57 degrees. It will be dropping down to 43 degrees tonight and stay well in the 40s as we head into Thursday. It'll be rainy with an 80% chance of rain and a high of 49 degrees throughout the day. We'll see a pretty mild weekend when I return. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Adam. And when we return, we will have your international headlines. We'll be right back.
We've been down there. You gotta do the same. Post office. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. For selective service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. For selective service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time, just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Kazakhstan's Ili-Bakash State Nature Reserve is welcoming back the tiger, an animal that hasn't been seen in the region for over 70 years. Tigers once roamed across the entirety of Central Asia. Now, however, tigers occupy less than 7% of the range they used to. In the 1950s, they were declared extinct in the Caspian region in Kazakhstan due to systematic hunting. In September, 2 captive Amur tigers were translocated from a sanctuary in the Netherlands and are now getting settled in the Ili-Bakash Nature Reserve, with the hope that their offspring will be among the first wild tigers in the country in decades. Stuart Chapman, lead of the Tigers Alive initiative, said, quote, "This is the first time that tigers have crossed international borders to reintroduce them into the wild," end quote. The 2 tigers, Bodana and Kuma, are said to be just the beginning. At least 8 more tigers are expected to join the pair in the coming years, aiming to reach a goal of 50 wild tigers by 2035.
1.5 million Honda vehicles are at risk of severe engine failure while driving. The National Highway Traffic Safety Agency, or NHTSA for short, investigated the company and found devastating results. The 2016 through 2020 model Honda Pilots have a failing connector rod which links the pistons to the crankshaft. This means that under stress, your car may fail at any point. Last year, Honda recalled 250,000 vehicles for this exact reason, although some cars were not recalled even after reporting this issue. One customer even crashed their car due to this issue. Fortunately, there were none hurt in the accident. In the report, Honda advised both dealers and customers to inspect their engine before selling or purchasing a vehicle.
In Hong Kong, traffic was held up during a viral quest for soup dumplings. University students were in the pursuit of cycling through the night from Jinzhou to Kaifeng before being stopped by police. These night rides became a quick viral trend as it is a way for the youth to not only get breakfast, but to also travel and socialize without breaking the bank. They rented bikes and cycled with the slogan, quote, "Youth is priceless," end quote. The crowd was slow to move on Friday as other university students joined, police officers maintained order, and other people provided free water. The crowd grew so much that Henan imposed traffic limits on Saturday by closing non-motorized lanes on major avenues that link the two cities together until noon on Sunday. Large bike-sharing platforms also sent out messages urging citizens not to drive vehicles. Hongxin Zhu, a professor at Lingnan University, has come out and said that this trend is likely one of many that will include spontaneous congregation of young people that has originated online. And after the break, a look at Megan Fox and MGK's first baby, an emperor penguin found on an Australian beach, and the 2025 Grammy nominations. We'll be right back.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Actress Megan Fox and her fiancé, rapper Machine Gun Kelly, are expecting their first child together. Fox announced on social media on Monday. One Snapchat showed Fox cradling her belly while another featured her holding a positive pregnancy test. In the caption, she said, quote, "Nothing is ever really lost. Welcome back," end quote. Fox and Kelly confirmed their relationship in May of 2020, months after meeting while making the 2021 film Midnight in the Switchgrass, and became engaged 2 years later. In November 2023, she wrote in her book of poems, Pretty Boys Are Poisonous, about having experienced a miscarriage with her musical love interest. Fox said, quote, I've never been through anything like that in my life. I have 3 kids, so it was very difficult for both of us, and it sent us on a very wild journey together and separately trying to navigate it, end quote. When her book was released, Fox said that her reason for writing it was to let women know they don't have to keep their pain to themselves.
The first emperor penguin known to reach Australia found itself on a tourist beach. The penguin was found on the south coast in a malnourished state and is currently in care by wildlife experts. The penguin was found on Denmark Beach, which is 2,200 miles away from its home in Antarctica. Some emperor penguins have reached New Zealand in the past, but this is the first to reach Australia. The penguin is 39 inches tall and weighs 51 pounds. This is opposed to the typical 100 pounds that emperor penguins usually weigh. The penguin is getting sprayed with chilled water to help him cope with this new climate. There are currently options being exposed to possibly return the penguin to Antarctica.
As it is that time of year again, the Grammys have announced their nominees for this year. Many artists broke out of traditions by going into other genres, such as Beyoncé and Post Malone, who have made country albums this year. There is a chance in the genre, however, as traditional country songwriters like Cody Johnson are missing their nomination. But that isn't the only controversy choice, as the AI-assisted song Now and Then by the Beatles was nominated. The song uses an AI recreation of John Lennon's voice that used a voice record demo prior to the singer's untimely passing. Last summer, the Record Academy stated they would only be nominating human artists. However, they have since reversed their statement. In terms of pop music, there is no short of obvious pickings, including Taylor Swift, Chappell Roan, and Sabrina Carpenter. On the other hand, many popular artists are either missing or have only gotten one nomination, such as Usher, Dua Lipa, and Bad Bunny. And now we're going to toss it to Adam one more time tonight for the end of the weekend weather. How's it look, Adam?
Thank you, Kellyanne. Friday will be a little warmer with a high of 52. We may still see some slight chances of rain with cloudy skies throughout the day, 22% to be exact, and a low of 43 in the night, a little chilly. Saturday will warm up a bit with a high of 54 degrees, and we may see some sun, although it will be obscured with partly cloudy skies. It'll drop down to 42 degrees, but we'll pick up again on Sunday with a high of 57 degrees. It'll be cloudy throughout the day, but it'll only drop down to 48 degrees at night, like a roller coaster. That's all the weather I have for you this week. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Adam. That does it for News 11. Thank you to our behind-the-scenes crew. We'll be back next week.
As always, thank you to everyone watching at home. Have a great night.